I'm not a commodity for sale. And I think the Guptas learned that too. Treasury was one of the key targets of state capture. And if one looks at the Gupta emails and all of the circumstances that surround Mr. Van Rooyen, then we begin to understand, by virtue of his associations, that this was the first step in the takeover. Being appointed on the 13th of December 2015 is one thing, in the midst of the turmoil. But fairly soon thereafter, from late January on, it was quite clear to me from various signals, this one in particular, and what followed this particular event, that a mistake had been made, inverted commas, in locating me at the Treasury. Some very harsh lessons were learned from the turmoil caused by the dismissal of Mr. Nene and the replacement of Mr. Nene by Mr. Van Rooyen, and whatever background he came from. And so you couldn't repeat that exercise of firing. So other means needed to be found to, in essence, as you will see later, force me to resign. And pretty much the kind of bullying that we see at the moment is the kind of bullying and intimidation and harassment that the 27 questions and their delivery begin to introduce in our lives at the Treasury, but also in the lives of different persons, including myself. At a particular point in time, New Age, i.e. the Guptas, and SABC had a, if you like, close shop arrangement that they would be the ones that would do these sorts of transmissions. One or other SOE, usually ESCOM or Transnet, would sponsor those breakfasts, and the beneficiaries obviously would be New Age, which would get reasonably free advertising in the process. In this particular instance, we decided at the Treasury that we don't want to be part of that arrangement. And implicit in that, if not explicit, is the fact that we don't want anything to do with the Guptas. As far as my, I don't even want to use the word relationship with the Guptas, because there was no such relationship. According to my office at the time in the Treasury, there were repeated efforts to try to meet me or get me into a meeting, all of which either the office turned down, or if I was informed about it, I turned down. So at no stage would I have entertained a meeting directly with the Guptas. I've never been to Saxonwold, the so-called compound, nor, by the way, as I indicated earlier, did I look for the shebeen in its vicinity.